Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my meal planning video. I'm really excited to do this video for you guys because I get a ton of questions about how I meal plan, how I keep my fridge organized. I meal plan the way that I do because I'm one of those people that does not like to not know what I'm having for dinner. I don't like it when 5 o'clock rolls around and I'm digging through my fridge trying to put ingredients together and figure out what I'm gonna have for dinner, and then ultimately deciding that I'm gonna order a pizza. So I like to eat at home. I like to cook. My husband likes to cook. He likes to eat at home. So I designed this meal plan system that keeps me on track when it comes to meal planning. This also helps me reduce the amount of groceries that I'm throwing in the garbage, because the way that I meal plan ensures that I'm using up the ingredients that are in my fridge. And if there's ingredients that are left over from a previous meal plan, I make sure that I include them in the next meal plan so that nothing is going to waste. Well, this is real life. Some things do go to waste, but I really do make a huge effort to minimize the amount of food that is going to waste. Another reason that I like to do this is because depending on what's going on in our lives, sometimes we have to modify the budget that we have for our groceries, depending on how expensive groceries are, or if we have other things going on where we're spending money on gifts, or we recently got married, so we had to adjust our budget to fit our needs because we were spending more money on the wedding and we didn't want to be spending money on our grocery budget. So this meal plan, I have been doing it for years and years. If you're just starting out, remember it's all about baby steps. It's about progress, not perfection. And I hope that this video can help you develop some healthy habits to help you eat at home more, minimize your food waste, and stay on track with maybe your dietary goals. And with that, let's jump right into it. So I have a couple of things set aside here that I always break out when I'm meal planning. So what I have is a notebook. I'm an old-fashioned girly. I like to write stuff down. So I use this notebook and a pen to make my grocery list. So that is item number one. Item number two, I have I'm gonna call it a whiteboard. It's like a dry erase board. I got this from the dollar store probably more than 15 years ago. I'm sure that they still have something similar. It's magnetic and I keep it on my fridge. This is the whiteboard that I use. And I write my meals down as well as some breakfast and lunch ideas or snack ideas down here. This keeps us on track so that I always know what our dinner options are for the week. I don't stick to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's a bit too strict for my lifestyle. I just make sure that all the meals are here, and then when it comes time for dinner, I will look at the menu and decide what I want to have that day. So the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is not really necessary. It's just there because, again, I got this from the dollar store forever ago, but that's how I use it. I just make sure all the meals are listed, as well as breakfast, lunch, and snack options. So the next thing that I have here is nail polish remover. If you're somebody who uses a whiteboard or a dry erase board like the one I just showed you, and you have a heck of a time getting the marker off of it, nail polish remover is your friend. I use nail polish remover and a Kleenex to wipe my board clean. Like I said, I've been using that board for more than 15 years and it's still in perfect shape. And that's how I keep it clean. So if you didn't know that, I hope that helps you out. I like to keep things colorful, keep it fun. I just use dry erase markers. I'm pretty sure these are just from the dollar store too. So markers in lots of colors. The meat and potatoes of this video. This is my handy dandy recipe box. Let me tell you, I can't live without this. This has been curated over years and years. I get my recipes from all over the place. I have a couple of favorites that I always go to for recipe ideas. Comment down below if you want me to do like a what I eat in a day or a cook with me, and I'm happy to share some of these recipes with you, and I'll let you know where I got them from or if I made them myself. But this box, it has dinner recipes, breakfast recipes. It's got cocktail, mocktails, desserts. There's lots of goods in here. It's mostly dinner recipes though. If you're just starting out and you don't know where to begin, I would just recommend just taking it 1 week at a time. When I started building this box, I took it 1 week at a time. I picked out 7 meals that I wanted to try. I created recipe cards for them. And then if I didn't like the recipe, I threw the card out. And if I liked the recipe, it went in the box. I still do that to this day. If I want to try new things, or if I have like some extra time and I want to try out a new recipe, I will just create a new card. I always keep extra cards in here. I'll do up a new card, I'll add it to my meal plan, and if the meal was a success, I'll put it in the box so that it ends up in the rotation. And if I didn't like it, I'll throw the card out. So that's how I use my recipe box. My recipe box is my meal planning brain. So I am never hemming and hawing about what to put on my meal plans because my recipe box tells me. So I just pull all my dinner cards and I take the next 7 cards, and that's what I'm going to have for dinner that week. There are obviously some exceptions. If there's special occasions and I have a specific recipe in mind, I'll dig for it. If I have to feed a ton of people that are coming to my house, I will modify my meal plans for situations like that. Or like if I pull 7 pasta cards in a row, I'm not going to have pasta every day. I will like save some of those pastas for another week. So it's not black and white. It's very gray. This is your meal plan. Customize it how you want. But I like to eliminate the amount of brain power that goes into meal planning. So this is how I do it. So that is all of my tools that I have in front of me that I'm going to be using in this meal plan video. Be sure to leave your questions and comments for me down below. I'm happy to answer them. I'm really passionate about this and I want to share all my knowledge with you so that hopefully I can help you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve in creating your meal plans. Okay, so let's get started with the actual meal planning process. So I start with my box. I am going to go into my box and pull all of the dinner cards that I have. So I lay them out and I always start from the top and work my way down. So once I have cooked something, I put it at the back so that I'm always rotating through my recipes. If I'm skipping recipes on a regular basis, I throw the cards in the garbage because clearly I'm not a big fan. I will always ask my husband what he thinks about the dinners that I make or we make. We cook together a lot too. And if he's not a big fan either, I will throw them out. So I've got my pile of recipe cards here and I'm looking at the first one, and the first recipe is caprese chicken. This recipe is actually a recipe that I like to make in the warmer months, and we are in the dead of winter right now. So I am going to skip this recipe for that reason. That's an acceptable reason. I'm not going to throw the card out. I have lots of recipes that are more tailored towards summertime or wintertime, like soups in the winter, barbecue stuff in the summer. So I'm going to skip that one. I'm also going to skip this one. This is our pesto tortellini recipe. This calls for fresh vegetables from the garden, and I don't have a garden. It's the dead of winter. I get a lot of snow where I live, so I'm going to skip that one. The next one on the list is sun-dried tomato, spinach, chicken, spaghetti. So there's nothing wrong with that. So that's going to be meal number 1. I always meal plan 7 meals unless there's like a holiday or something where grocery stores are going to be closed and I feel like I need an extra day. Like it depends on the situation, but 90% of the time I meal plan 7 meals at a time. So this next one is Marry Me Chicken Roll-Ups. So that one sounds good. I will make that. But I'm also going to clock that those are 2 pasta recipes. I have a lot of pasta recipes because me and my husband both love pasta. So I try not to eat pasta more than once or twice a week because I just think that there's healthier ways to get your carbs in. So that's just a personal preference. So I have just capped myself on pasta meals. So if I get any more pastas, I'm going to skip them. This is a ziti recipe, so I'm going to skip it. This is Hawaiian chicken. It's a summer barbecue recipe, so I'm going to skip that. The next one is slow cooker barbecue chicken sandwiches. So this is perfectly fine. Who doesn't love a slow cooker meal? Pizza smash tacos, also fine. Crock pot Philly cheesesteaks. So this one is a good one, but I'm also going to clock that that's 2 beef recipes in a row. And I also try to minimize the amount of beef that I'm eating because not only is it really expensive, but it's also higher in fat, so it's not as healthy. So I'm not going to have any more beef recipes if they come up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 5. I need 2 more recipes. This one is a garlic parm casserole. So that one is good. And then this is a sesame noodle bowl. So sesame noodle bowl, I'm not counting as a pasta dish because it's made with, I think it's egg noodles. So I'm gonna make an exception. Again, this is your meal plan. You set the rules. You can bend them however you want. But I know I said no more pasta, but I am gonna say yes to this noodle bowl. Okay, so that's 7. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 recipes. So now that I have my 7 recipes, I'm going to go ahead and put these back into the recipe box, close her up, and set her aside. So I'm also noting that when I was picking those recipes, you saw I was paying attention to how much beef we were having, how much pasta we were having. I'll also pay attention to things like if I have tacos, enchiladas, quesadillas, burrito bowl all in one meal plan, I'll separate those because those are all Mexican inspired recipes and I don't want to have a whole week of eating Mexican food. I'll probably get sick of it. So I try to make sure that I'm paying attention to things like that as well so that I'm having a good variety of meals in my week. So that is a success tip. If you want this to last a long time, you have to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going to make you want to continue doing it. Okay, so now that we have all of our recipes picked, I'm going to grab my whiteboard and I'm going to erase this because this is from the previous week, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in for this week in no particular order because, like I said, I don't stick to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday rule. I'm just going to pick and choose whatever's on the menu. So this is the menu as a whole. So let's get to it. So for those of you that are not recipe card people, this process could still work for you. I do have placeholders in my recipe box that are just on index cards. So what I mean by that is if there's something that's a staple in my house that I don't need a recipe for, such as chicken wings or burgers, I just put those items on an index card and then they act as placeholders. So then I'm still rotating through my meals and pulling the first 7 that I see as I showed you. And I'm still counting for those meals without necessarily having entire recipes written out. So hopefully the recipe card portion doesn't deter you. If you're not a recipe card person, I think this process could still work for you. So now that our menu is set for the week, I'm going to set this aside. It can go back onto my fridge. And then I'm going to get my recipe cards and my pad of paper and my pen. And I'm just going to go through and write out all the ingredients for everything that's on this list. So the way that I do this is I like to turn my brain off. I'm usually like watching TV as I do this. I just take every single recipe card that has a list of ingredients and I just write them out. Simple as that. You don't have to think about it. Even if I know I have it on hand or I know it's going to be too expensive, I don't think about that stuff. I'm just going to write down all the ingredients that I need to make these recipes and to make those breakfast ideas that I wrote down. And then we will go from there. So today I'm using a pen and paper, but I also just wanted to mention that I don't always use a pen and paper. It depends on my mood when I'm making grocery lists. It depends on how much time I have, and it depends on who's going to be doing the shopping in my house. So today is a pen and paper kind of day. I prefer doing pen and paper. That's just what I like the most. I just find it the most visually appealing, and I don't know, I was one of those people that used to draw all over my notebooks in school, so I guess this could be part of the reason that I just sometimes get an itch to draw on paper. But if my husband is going to be the one that's doing the groceries, we have a shared calendar app that has like a shared shopping list section in it. So I will just put the groceries in there. That way he gets the list directly to his phone and he's able to go and get the groceries when he's out and about. For me, I usually just take this list and I take a picture of it and bring it to the grocery store. So I still have it in my phone. It's just an image rather than a list. But I also will sometimes use like the sticky notes application on my phone or like a Google document if I am really like gonna be doing it digitally. So I don't always do it this way, but it is one of my preferred methods of doing it, and I usually am writing it out. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and if you're enjoying this video, make sure you give it a like. Have those notifications turned on because the next video that I'm going to be uploading is going to be after I purchase these groceries. I'm going to show how I organize my fridge, how I organize my pantry, how I do my produce prep, and you won't want to miss it, so make sure that you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on. A bit daunting, am I right? Don't worry. This is not my grocery list. This is just a start. So this is all the ingredients that I need to have for dinner. Then I'm just gonna add what I need for my breakfast. So I need to make sure that I have bananas for protein shakes, almond milk for protein shakes. That's all that I put in mine, by the way, just bananas, milk, water, and protein powder. If I'm going to have savory oatmeal, I know that I need spinach and mushrooms, which is already on here, plus my steel cut oats, chicken broth, and eggs. So I'm going to put eggs. Overnight oats, I have all the ingredients, and if I'm going to have avocado toast, I need bread. So that should cover my breakfast and my lunches and all of that stuff. So now what I do with this list is I'm going to shop my house first. So I'm going to take this and go into my fridge and go into my pantry, and I'm going to check off the ingredients that I already have and I do not need to repurchase. So I will be right back. Okay, I've returned. So I was able to scratch a lot of the things off my list. I think I basically cut it in half, which is great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to restructure this and just make it more grocery store friendly. I like to categorize my list based on where things are located in my grocery store so that I can start at the top of the list and work my way down without having to dig through a list. So I'm going to do that next. So I wanted to mention that when I am shopping my house, I am not only just looking for the food that's on my list, I'm also looking to see what items are in my fridge or my pantry that need to be used up if they're approaching expiry or I don't think that they're going to last another week. So I like to substitute as many things as I can. So just as an example, if I have carrots on my list, but I have cucumbers in the fridge, and whatever recipe I'm doing, they can be substituted for one another, I will scratch carrots off my shopping list and I'll use the cucumbers that are already in my fridge. So it's kind of a way that I eliminate my food waste, and I will always keep in mind what's currently in my fridge as I'm making my meal plans too. So if I know that I need to have something that has cucumbers in it, I will pull a recipe that has cucumbers in it intentionally. Because remember, we're trying to minimize the amount of food waste that we have here. So I just wanted to mention that while I was shopping my house, that was one thing that I was keeping in mind. I will also look for cheaper substitutes. So if I don't have to buy an item because I have something else that's close enough on hand, I will opt for the item that I already have, because the more things that I can check off my grocery list before getting to the grocery store, the better, because the goal is to minimize the size of the list so that we can save some money. Remember, meal planning is supposed to save you money, not have you spend more money. So there you have it. This is my grocery list for the week. This is going to set me up for success for the next 7 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I just also want to disclose that sometimes, most of the time, these meal plans last me longer than 7 days because things come up. So just remember, these are just tips to simplify your life. If you're invited to go out for dinner and that's going to mess up your meal plan, that's okay. This is still life we want to live. So if I get invited to go somewhere else for dinner, or if I have to host a dinner, I just make adjustments as I need through the week. But like I said, this minimizes a lot of the thinking time that I have to spend on what's for dinner tonight. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some helpful tips to simplify your meal planning process. If you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and support my channel. Make sure that you're subscribed because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos just like this to try to give you some helpful tips to simplify your life. If you want to see me try some of these recipes, or you want to cook with me one night, let me know that as well, and I'll be happy to make some videos like that for you. Bye for now. The way that I do the meal plan ensures, that was attractive. That was, I'll probably cut that out. Goodness, my hair's doing crazy things. This is Hawaiian chicken, which is a summer barbecue. Barbecue? Is versatile the right word? And a chick. Okay, let's start that over.